Hooker's blades.
Hey everybody, back again. So if you saw the short and you saw the community post or you follow me on Facebook, you would have seen I recently had a concussion. Had to go through some recovery for that, but I am back at the forge finally. So we're going to take it a little easy today, and we're only playing with a little piece of rebar. I'm going to be going camping here shortly, so I figured I'd need a fire poker for the fires I like to have, and what better to do than make one out of rebar. So as you can see, I've got a 3-foot section here that I've clipped some of the end off, and I'll explain what that was for just here in a minute. But we're going to make a little fire poker out of this today. We're going to just swing a hammer on some rebar, have some fun, get back into the groove of things. Basically, I just got to ease myself back into the things I was doing, and I just don't want to push myself too hard because of the severity of the concussion I had. But I am doing good, and I am on the road to recovery. So thank you to everybody who had the well wishes and told me to take care of myself and get feeling better. You know who you are. Thanks, guys. But without further ado, I'm back. We're here. Let's make us a fire poker. So that cutoff section is going to end up being the hook that goes on the rear of the tool. The reason I cut the half of it off at about 1.5 inches, almost 2 inches of material, was so that way I could get a nice long thin hook and not have to draw so much material down to get that small hook. Makes it a lot easier to get a precise size. Now I'm going to square up a section that's going to be about 8 inches in length and kind of thin it down to about 3/4 of the thickness that it was at originally before I fold it over. Now that I've got the material bent over itself, I'm going to start drawing down the front end of this and tapering the whole thing into a spike shape. A lot of guys like to forge weld those two pieces together, but I plan on doing something a little bit different that's going to give it kind of a fancier spike end. Now I'm just shaping the hook for the rear hook, just over the horn and on the face of the anvil, kind of tapping it into shape. Now I'm going to twist both ends of what forms that spike in opposite directions to form a spiral for both ends of that hook, just to give it kind of a fancier head, make it a little wider up there. Now I'm just using a wooden mallet on a stump to make sure that I don't mar the twists that I put in, but this way I can get everything straight and oriented in the direction that I want it to be facing. Now I'm going to twist the round section of rebar about 8 to 10 inches from the head just to give it a really cool pattern before it goes into the handle, which we're going to square up and twist in opposing directions to make it kind of a spiral pattern. when I'm drawing this square, I'm being careful to leave some of the pattern of the rebar in on the corners. So I've got to make sure that I keep everything straight when I'm squaring this up. And you'll see why I do that here in just a minute. Now for the handle section, I'm going to flatten this all out to about 1/4 inch thick. Get about an inch, maybe an 1.25 inches wide all the way down, so we can twist this into the handle. We're going to have a square and flat, stock twisted kind of handle to give it a matching theme with the overall spiral design we're doing for this fire poker. Now that we've gotten that bent over, we can head on over to the vise where we can kink it over to one side, so that way we can start to wrap this back up on the square section. Here you can see I'm just driving home that angle that we created on the vise, so that way the section that's flat can pass over, and then we can start to take the channel locks and bend our way around. Now the trick to getting this tight is bend it a little bit, then work it down tighter, go back to the vise and bend it some more, then back to the anvil to make it a little tighter, and just keep going back and forth like that. I didn't show it in the video, but after you get everything nice and tight, one thing that you can do that is incredibly helpful if you want this to look pretty is grab the tail end of it, so where the bend occurs between the square and the flat, and once it's nice and tight, twist that in the same direction, just like you would be if you were making a coil of wires to try and tighten the whole thing up on itself. This will both twist the inner section as well as the outer section. And as you can see here, we're just doing some twists on both sides and the center of the bar. I didn't get to show all of it because my camera did end up overheating, so I wasn't able to record the finishing process where I buffed it to get it nice and pretty. But we did get it all finished up, and I'll see you guys here in a sec so you can see the finished product. Fire poker is now complete. Little 3-foot fire poker. We've got a spiraled head with a blunt point and a hook. And then we got the twisted patterned rebar at the top just because that looks pretty cool. And then it goes into reverse twists through the body of the handle and back to square for a wrapped handle. And as you can see with rebar, you can get all kinds of cool patterns when you twist it, if you leave those corner bits in when you forge it square. But that does it for today's video. Leave a like if you guys like what you see, and don't forget to subscribe for more blacksmithing and knife making content. Until next time, stay sharp, God bless.